Well, it's been a very impactful time to be here and listen to the stories, listen to everybody share. I'm State Representative Marcus Riccelli. I represent the 3rd Legislative District in Spokane, which we are standing in right now. Before I give a few remarks, I do want to recognize first my seatmate, Representative Tim Ormsby, who is here. And thank you. In addition to supporting this legislation along with myself and along with Senator Billig, when we talk about the dollars that are needed to implement some of the reforms and the training, as Chair of Appropriation, he makes sure that we have path forward to have that funding. I want to thank Senator Billig's staff for being here, both Noel and Morgan. I want to particularly thank Senator Billig for setting the record straight with Sheriff Knezovich when he said that law enforcement was not consulted. I know that was not correct. I appreciate him setting the record. I know that I spoke with Chief Meidel. I know that Representative Ormsby did. I know that thousands of people communicated through an open and transparent legislative process. And so I'm appreciative that the facts are coming out today about the impacts and the implementation and the legislative intent. So why am I here? I wasn't planning on speaking today. In fact, I was coming here just to listen along with a number of other folks. But the community invited me to deliver their asks on their behalf. And as their state representative, that's what I intend to do here. The community is calling on the Spokane Police Department and the Spokane County Sheriff's Office to fully implement the police reform measures passed in the legislature last session. We further request the Attorney General's Office and the Criminal Justice Training Center oversee the implementation process in Spokane as appropriate to their roles. Finally, we are joining calls from both law enforcement and other communities across Washington to ask the Attorney General's Office to move swiftly to publish the model guidance for these laws due next year. And in the meantime, to provide informal opinions to address the most frequently asked questions being raised. Okay, that is the call to action. That is the ask. I'm happy to deliver that. I also want to mention and reiterate, when behavioral health entities came to me the weekend before implementation and they were scared because they didn't want to send their workers out, those mental health professionals, because they thought law enforcement wasn't going to stick around, that we now have, thanks to the Attorney General Office, clear legislative intent in that scenario. I want to particularly thank, you heard about some of the leadership in the legislature. Imagine being one of only 2 black men in our legislature and taking the weight of passing these bills on. My incredible respect for the courage and the leadership of Representative Jesse Johnson, and I ask this community to give him a round of applause. And when people push back and say that this was not a statewide effort or input was not given, when SCAR asked me to speak on the potential reforms in the legislation, I said, well, that would be okay, but let me see if Representative Johnson will come. And he spent an hour on Zoom with SCAR to discuss and get feedback. So that's what I came here today to share. I appreciate being invited. I appreciate the coverage so that we can get the disinformation put to bed. We can get the legislative intent enacted, and we can continue to move forward as a community for the best so that all people can thrive. Thank you very much.